Hello teacher friends, and I'm back with another video on how to set up modules for your classes. I'm using one of the classes I had last semester as a guide so that you'll see how the modules work during the quarantine and how I was able to get the students to move through the modules. So let's go ahead and go to modules. Um, and I just want to focus, I'm going to get rid of some of these so that way it's not cluttering up my screen so much. And I'm going to focus on, we'll focus on, let's see. Yeah, we'll do this one. I think this one is a good one to work in. This particular module was set up for my students during this date range. And what I always did is I would introduce the module, and then I would have some sort of practice activity. And then after that, they may have some other readings or surveys or things of that nature that they would have to do. I did make my students work in order with the module. So what we had to do was there is a little button that you can click. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that because this course is actually concluded. So I tell you what, I'm going to copy this into my practice course. Okay, so I've brought my module into my practice course just so that you all can see how that goes. And as always, you want to make sure whatever you put in here, I do go ahead and publish everything because I don't want to forget to do anything here. You'll see this was a module that the students had quite a bit they had to move through, and I wanted to make sure that they did it in order. So what I would do is I loaded all of my activities in the module, and I did put them in the order that I wanted students to do them in. And then what you'll do is you'll hit the three buttons that are at the top here. And when you do that, you can say edit. And then once you edit, you can add prerequisites. And what that looks like is this right here. Basically, you would drop down the first one and then you'd add what you wanted the students to do. And you could select they just had to view the item or they had to mark it as done. I like having them mark certain practice activities as done. So that way, if they come back and say, oh, I didn't get it, well, you said that you did the practice activity and you seem to understand it. Where was the disconnect? Then there was a reading that they had to do attached to a quiz in which they needed to score at least 85% to move to the next part of the module. So that is pretty much how I set the modules up. I do like to, as I said, have them move through it in order, and I like to make them get it done, basically. That's the only way you can really do that. One other really neat thing, I'm going to go ahead and cancel out. One other really neat thing is you can, if I remember correctly, you can actually add a prerequisite. So after my students finished one module, they could not move to the next module until they finished the one before it. So that's really good, especially if you're setting it up for students to review material or to work through alongside of what you're doing in class. And if you set your modules up like this and you walk your students through it, I suggest making a video for them, posting it in announcements, and then also sending an email out to parents and students with a link to your video so that they understand how to move through the modules. The biggest thing is creating accountability, not just for you, but also for your students. And a lot of times they like to say, well, I didn't understand or I didn't know how to do it. Well, you've sent the video out, you've posted it in announcements. There's really not much of an excuse there. So you can just respond to their email and copy their parents, as I always do, and just say, hey, please make sure that you watch the video that I uploaded and that I also emailed to help you learn how to move through the modules. So hopefully this helps you in how to set up your module. One other thing I will point out is once you have your assignments and your quizzes and everything done, to add something to your module, you just have to click that plus sign, and then you can drop down and you can add whatever it is that you've got in your module. I'm going to be setting up a module for my current classes, and once I set that up, or as I'm setting that up, I will record another video so you'll see how I do modules and I use external tools and other things that help support the learning environment. So I hope this video helps, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment if there's another video that you'd like some tips on.